Next up at UFC Des Moines, we have Montel Jackson taking on Daniel Marcos. Montel Jackson, 14-2 in his career. 5-0 in his last 5, riding back-to-back knockout wins. Taking on Daniel Marcos, 17-0. Actually, 17-0-1 in his career. He's 4-0-1 in his last 5, so he's undefeated. He's coming off that close decision win over Adrian Yanez, who some people could have argued should have gone the other way, or certainly Adrian let it slip through his fingers. Montel Jackson has made a name for himself with his power. He has giant one-punch knockout power. But the reality is he's a good wrestler. He added striking later in his career. He's well-rounded, a resume full of knockouts, a resume full of decisions, and full of submissions. His takedown accuracy is impressive at 71%. He averages almost 4 takedowns per fight. Oftentimes, people will talk about the power. But the reality is he's a high-level wrestler. At one point in time was training at the Olympic training facility, hoping to compete at that level. He's coming off that knockout win over Damon Blackshear about 9 months ago. He's taking on Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos is an effective striker. He's got power. He's got accuracy. He does a nice job of stringing together combinations and marching forward. He'll throw 1-2s. He'll follow up with flying knees and elbows. His takedown defense is solid at 88%. He has 8 knockouts, 9 decisions. So we know how dangerous he is, but we also know how much cardio he has to push a pace and win a decision. He's coming off that razor-thin decision over Adrian Yanez, where he had the striking volume, but Yanez had the bigger moments. I think this is a great matchup. This matchup matters very much for this division and their trajectories. They're both sniffing at a spot inside of the top 10. It's also hard to pick and make these odds make sense because I think this fight should be a lot closer than these odds are implying. I don't think Montel Jackson is a 2-1 favorite here. You want to make him the favorite because he's got power and he can wrestle? Fine. But 2-1 seems wide to me. I think Daniel Marcos has all the tools. I think Daniel Marcos has shown us that he can make something happen even through adversity. And while Montel is fast and has the big power, Daniel is durable. Daniel has the cardio to go a full 15 minutes. And Daniel's the more versatile striker of the two. I think Daniel's versatility, I think Daniel's gas tank, I think Daniel, pushing into overdrive at times, I think he can go ahead and steal around here, if not win this actual fight. I'm going to pick Daniel Marcos. Picks and bets are not the same thing, but I am also going to bet on Daniel Marcos. It wasn't available when I checked, but as soon as it pops up, the plus 3.5 on Daniel Marcos is going to make some sense. We just need him to win one single round. Montel hits hard. I don't think he's going to knock out Daniel. So then he has to hit hard over and over and over to win all 15 minutes. Daniel Marcos is the pick, but the important part here is I think he steals a round, and that's all we're going to need for that plus 3.5. What do you think, Samuel?
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're looking at with that bit. And I'm actually a believer of both these guys. And sometimes this happens, being a capper, you start to get invested in people's career trajectory. I've been a person that has bet on Daniel Marcos every single fight that he's had in the UFC so far. So I'm a Daniel Marcos believer. The Montel Jackson side, I bet him to win by knockout against him on Blackshear, and I was excited about that as well. And so when they came to fight here together, I kind of had mixed emotions about it. And that kind of led me to feel a certain way about each type of fighter. But I went back and I did my tape study and, rewatching back Daniel Marcos, not only against Adrian Yanez, but also against Davy Grant. Both those fights were kind of questionable moments where he started getting tagged up a little bit here. So it's not like Daniel Marcos is completely defensively sound. Yes, he has some good striking, and yes, primarily he is durable, but I think he's going to allow a lot of time on the feet for Montel Jackson to be able to land that big power, And so the only 2 times we've seen Montel Jackson struggle have been against people that are pressuring him, keeping him against the cage, or, chain wrestling against him. I don't think that Daniel Marcos is going to be doing any of those things. So in an open fight where they're going to be striking and Montel Jackson has the potential of grappling, I've got to go Montel Jackson. Odds aside, I think he's going to win this matchup. So I'm going Montel Jackson. And does he find the finish? I probably do lean towards no, because Daniel Marcos has shown to be able to get to their scorecards multiple times, even in tight fights. Despite Montel Jackson having that one-hitter quitter knockout power, I think that he probably wins this by decision. So, yeah.
Yeah, and listen, I get the love on the Montel Jackson side, and he usually fits the bill for somebody I'd be all over. High-level wrestler, power in his hands. I think the problem is he is going to be looking for that power. And I think he's going to be winging left hands, just winging, trying to chase that knockout, ultimately not going to find it. And I think Daniel's just going to be a little faster, not Actually, not faster. A little cleaner, a little bit more accurate, and higher volume. Look at the strike differences. 5.9 significant strikes landed to 3.39. He's landing almost double the amount of strikes. And I think that volume may be the difference here. But let's go ahead and take a premium member. Crans, you wanted to talk about this fight. What do you think?
What's going on, Bet Sam?
Hey, welcome, Crans. How you doing,
I'm
buddy?
also on the Montel Jackson side. Just going to say it right off the rip. I kind of like the momentum and like as far as looking at these two and who's showing improvements, I think Montel is kind of the more improved fighter, and I do kind of see Daniel Marcos on some of those decisions where could have maybe gone either way. Angelo, I caught the last end of your breakdown there, but I do see what you're saying with him chasing that knockout. He's on like the last 2 fights. I don't even think he's made it out of the first round, so that's pretty good for his knockout streak. Daniel Marcos, I don't think he's ever been knocked out, so he's pretty durable. Gotta give him that. I think in the end, Montel Jackson will probably get a decision. But Angelo, I see where you're coming from. I think Betsam, are you on the Montel Jackson?
Yeah, I'm on Montel Jackson, and it's KO or decision for me. I think if it's up to Daniel Marcos whether his durability is going to hold up or not, in my opinion. So we'll see about that.
Right.
All right.
I see that.
Crans,
Absolutely.
any bets before I let you go this fight?
Yeah, I got Montel Jackson. I'm not like a high confidence in him, but I am confident enough to put him in kind of a not a confident parlay, not a safety parlay or a slam by any means, but I got him in a risky parlay with one other fighter. So yeah, I think the odds are about right. I don't think that Marcos is a crazy big dog. I don't think Montel's a huge favorite, but yeah.
Great. Well, we appreciate you calling in, and call back next time we do one of these. See you.
All right. See you.
See you later, Crans.
Later.
So I'm the only one on the Marcos side. It is what it is. I've ridden this line before. We did it with Caio Fernandez against whatever that bum's name is just a few weeks ago. So I'm fine, and I will ride with my guys. I'm going to go Daniel Marcos, as I mentioned, plus 3.5 bet. We'll take a look, see what those odds are. As soon as I place it, you will get a push notification. Listen, if you're on the Montel Jackson side, then that $8,700 might be worth it, because either A, he could find a knockout, as he does, or B, he might resort to wrestling. The Daniel Marcos volume might be a problem for Montel Jackson. He might be bombing overhands, looking for a knockout, not get them, then lean on that high-level wrestling that he has. So if you're on his side, go for it. If you're on the Daniel Marcos side, which I am on, $7,500 is affordable, but I don't think he's not going to finish Montel. So it's literally just sheer volume to get it done. I'm going to have to look at his historical scorings to make a definitive decision, but I'm on the Marcos side. Bet Sam's on the Montel Jackson side. I'm going to split the difference with a bet by doing that plus 3.5. If you want to take a look at every single bet we have right now, if you want to see all the picks that we have right now, what the artificial intelligence says, if you want to check out every single tool, including the brand new tape index, you can just go to wewantpicks.com, click become a member. You'll unlock all of it instantly in one package. No tiers, no nonsense, no upsells. There's literally nothing else to buy. It is a $10 a month premium package. It includes every single thing on the website, wewantpicks.com. We do have a comment here. One sharp brother said, people have been pretty chill calling in. Is it normally like this? We have never done a show like this effectively. We have the Thursday call-in show, which is basically a free-for-all. People call in, they're lining up, saying God knows what, talking about God knows what. This is our normal structured Tuesday show without Jacob. Jacob's taking a little bit of a break, working on himself, hanging out, staying away from the camera, just taking a big, deep breath. So while he does that, Samuel and I are going to break down this card, and we're taking calls from the fans. So we have not done a show like this before. We're trying to incorporate the premium members. And yeah, everybody who has called in so far has been chill. There's a bunch of people in the queue. They don't have their cameras on. If your camera's not on, you're not coming on. I mean, pretty simple, straightforward concept there. Let's go ahead and break down this next